Hey guys, how's it going? So yesterday we went over the first four questions on this paper, and pretty much the idea of how solving systems of equations by elimination works. Today I want to talk about what's going to happen in the other cases. So real quick, let's take a look. I'm gonna, no, not that one. That one. Let's take a look at these two problems. Okay, so let's take a look at 5 and 6. And kind of see what we can do with these. Now, we said yesterday one of the things we can do is we can add these two equations together. Your logical question should be, well, if we add them, can we also subtract them? Yes, you can, but I'm going to strongly advise you not to. And in fact, I'm going to see if I still have the picture from my college algebra class where someone was trying to do this. Okay, so if we add these two equations together, okay, there's the first equation, right, it's number 5, and the second equation. Let's add these two together like we did yesterday. This is negative 6x. Now, be careful, negative 9y plus another negative 9y is negative 18y. And this is going to be negative 48. This statement is 100% true. Okay, in fact, I will leave it here so that when we're done with this problem, you can see that this statement is true. The problem is it didn't eliminate anything, right? This is the elimination method, right? This is the elimination method, and nothing got eliminated, okay? Now, can you subtract these? Yes, because you guys should know that negative 9y minus negative 9y is 0, right? So, is this true? Yes, I'm going to take this, put it over here on the side so we can use it later so you guys can see that it's still true. The problem is that I've seen when people subtract is you start messing up, okay? And again, I can see if I can find a picture of my college class where you have people at the college level. These are people who know how to do a bit of math, right? It's an intro college math course, but still, though, they're still making this mistake. So negative 2 minus negative 4. Well, negative 2 minus negative 4 is really negative 2 plus 4, so that's really going to be, you see the problem already? That's really going to be 2x. This becomes 0. Negative 25 minus negative 23 really means negative 25 plus positive 23, which is going to be negative 2. So, could you do it? Yes. You get x equals 1, you plug it back in, you solve for 1. I really advise against doing this because normally what happens is people subtract the first one, they add the second one, they add the third one. There's too many moving parts in here. When it's addition, we just do whatever it says to do, right? Like, I mean, it's pretty much plus a negative means subtract, right? So we just know to subtract. When we minus a negative, all right, now we have to think, all right, now I'm going to switch this to addition, switch this to addition, switch this to addition. I really strongly advise against it. So if we're not going to subtract, what do we have to do? Well, remember, this is still algebra, right? You guys know a little bit about algebra, right? What if I did this? Well, I would want this 9 to be positive because I'm going to have a negative and I'd have a positive. And that would be good for business, yes? So if I wanted to, couldn't I go ahead and multiply this side by negative 1 and this side, all right? It's algebra. I'm allowed to do that, right? I'm allowed to do the same thing to both sides. So negative 1 times negative 4 is going to be positive 4. Negative 1 times negative 9 is going to be positive 9. And negative 1 times negative 23 would be positive 23. Right now, again, as long as my math is sound, and I assure you it is, we can now add these two together, right? If I add these two together, I can now solve this. Now, one thing, we normally don't write this way. Normally what we do when we're doing systems of equations is we literally just say, hey, what's negative 1 times the whole equation, okay? So you'll see me do that from now on, but remember we're multiplying both sides by -1, which is a 100% legal move. Now, when I add these together, so much nicer. So much nicer to use addition than it is to try and use subtraction here. So again, -2 plus 4, very straightforward. 2x -2, which is what we got before, I believe, right? So we're divide by 2. Again, we eliminated the y, right? And now what do we get? X is equal to -1. How do we get y? Well, you can plug it back into either one of these equations or this original one. I don't know why you'd want to, but you can. I'm going to plug it in here, give us some nice negative numbers. So we're going to say 4x, well, x is -1, plus 9y is equal to 23. That's -4 plus 9y is equal to 23. Let's add 4. 9y is equal to 27. Let's divide by 9, and we'll find out that y is equal to 3. So what's your answer? Your answer is -1, 3. Good. If you want to check it, plug it back into the other one. -2 times -1 is going to be 2. -9 times 3 is going to be -27. And yes, -2 minus 27 is going to be -25. Side note, that original equation that we said was true, but it didn't really help us. Does it make that one true as well? Well, that would be up here, right? -6 times -1 minus 18 times 3. Does that equal -48? Well, let's find out. -6 times -1 is going to be +6. -18 times 3 is going to be -54. And 6 minus 48, sure, -48. So again, if you combine them, we didn't create anything. The statement is still true, 100% true, but it didn't help us, okay? So again, what are we going to do? We're going to multiply this whole equation by -1 to get a new one. We're going to add them together. We're going to eliminate a variable, get x, plug x back in, solve for y. Okay, so we're going to do the second one here, and then we will talk about some other things that you're going to do. Okay, so the second one here, same thing. What do we got? We've got 8x plus y is equal to -16. We've got -3x plus y is equal to -5. So again, if we combine these, y and y makes 2y, and that's not what we want. We want a positive and negative version of the same number, okay? Here, you want to multiply one of these equations by a -1, right? So if I multiply this one by a negative, it'll be negative, negative, positive. If I multiply this one times a negative, 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 positive, negative, positive. Again, it doesn't matter which one you do, but let's work smarter, not harder. Let's go ahead and let's multiply this one times -1. So normally what I would do with these problems is I would multiply them this way and stack them up over here. 8x plus y is equal to -16. Now let's say -1 times -3 is going to be +3. -1 times +1 is going to be -y, which is good. We got what we wanted. And -1 times -5 is going to be +5. Okay. So again, by doing this, we created some positive numbers here. Okay. Now let's add them together because we got what we wanted. 8x and 3x makes 11x, and -16 plus 5 is going to be -11. X is going to equal -1. How do we get y? Plug it back into any one of these equations you want. I'm going to plug it into this one. So what do I have? I have 8x, 8 times -1, plus y is equal to -16. Again, why did I choose this equation? Because y doesn't have a coefficient, right? There's nothing in front of y. So -1 times 8 is going to be 8, plus y of -16. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. I'll find out that y is equal to -8. Please, pretty please with sugar on top. -1, -8 expressed as a coordinate. Okay. To check it, let's plug it back into our second equation here. So we'll say -3 times -1 plus -8 is equal to -5. -3 times -1 is going to be +3, plus a -8 means that, -8. And 3 minus 8 is going to be -5. So if you want to check it, please check it, okay? But again, if you plugged into this equation and solve for y, then plug them back into the other equation, which I didn't do here, but it's okay. Good. So let's take a look at some of these other ones. Now, again, for 7 and 8 tonight, I want you guys to go ahead and set these up, okay? I have -6 and -6, so let's multiply one of these by -1. And over here, I have +2y and +2y. Let's go ahead and let's multiply those by -1, okay? So pretty straightforward tonight. Do 7 and 8, okay? And then we'll talk about how we're going to apply that further to some of these other ones starting tomorrow, okay? So quick one today, guys. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you later.